We're never, ever getting back together.
Oh, a couple of Swifties on our
Yeah, we are. Welcome to Keeping Up with the Cardassians. This is Nick.
This is Rob.
This is Joe.
And we have a special guest host today. What's your name?
Sydney.
You're Sydney. Wow. Way to be in the mic
Wow.
and actively engaging in the conversation. I appreciate it. We have a special guest host today in Sydney. And we're super excited because we're talking about a couple things today. Today's a very special episode of The Flash. We got to go to the movie theater last week and see an advanced screening
Sorry, I'll see you guys later.
through press passes of The Flash.
Because when the press thinks about, when major studios thinks what press they want there, they think Keeping Up with the Cardassians.
They think about us.
First and foremost.
Yes, sir.
So,
Then how did we not get into Motor City Comic Con?
I don't know. They suck.
that's not fair. We're not going to talk
Hashtag,
about
they suck.
They suck.
Hashtag oppressed.
Yeah. I said
Amen, brother. They don't understand how difficult it is to be white men in today's world, do they? At a Comic-Con, especially. Because you don't see white men represented at Comic-Con, and it's very unfortunate.
That's because everybody's.
Would you agree, Sydney?
Oh, yeah, extremely.
See, look at how passionate she is about that. She agrees. She's with me on that one. But anyways, so our special episode, we're going to be reviewing The Flash. We're going to warn you there's going to be some spoilers in here.
We think.
We think we're not going to try to go too heavy in it because it hasn't aired yet, and we don't want to lose out on our privilege of being able to get press screeners in the future. And then we're going to review something else that none of us want to review.
Except for Sydney.
In fact,
Except for me.
we absolutely hated it. Every one of us. No, I'm kidding.
Except for me.
We are going to review the first couple of episodes of Star Trek Lower Decks.
Which is why Sydney is here, because she
Which
has
is
been, just like Nick was about Battlestar Galactica, Sydney has been about Lower Decks. And with the new episode of Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks coming up with a crossover, these guys had to watch it.
Every single week, Sydney says, hey, Nick, hey, Nick, hey, Nick. Have you watched Lower Decks yet? And Nick always says,
No.
no. But now I can
I
answer, I have. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get to it. But first of all, we were arguing about some things. What do we want to start with our argument about
We
today?
argue about everything.
We did. We were arguing before we got in here today.
I want to just real quick. I have an explanation for this.
Okay.
If
You're watching on YouTube, she just pointed at a Horgon.
Yeah.
It was Mom.
Yeah.
We got home from Comic-Con on Sunday, and she came downstairs, and she was like, I have something. I was like, okay. So she came down, and she was like, I got this for the podcast, and I'm going to put it in their room, but you just got to hide it for me. And I was like, all right. So, yeah, she did buy it. You were right.
How do you
Nice.
feel about your daughter
Knowing what a Horgon is,
and actively having it in her room at some point in time?
right? I like that it's by Joe right now.
Right.
I
because-
like that Sydney's on the episode and just outing people immediately.
Immediately. Like,
First and foremost, I'd like to rat on whoever bought this before we even get to the show.
I'm going to throw her under the bus. Gotta happen.
I liked it. I walked in here. I'm like, who got this?
I was there when she purchased it.
Oh,
too.
really?
You were in line with the boys.
Oh, you were
were?
complicit.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I had broken
didn't know
off
that.
because I went to buy the Obi-Wan Skywalker shirt for the president thing. Yeah. So, but
You were complicit in this purchase.
I was complicit. I was part of it.
I didn't know about
Nice.
the purchase until it was in my room.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. She was eyeballing it and she said, "Should I get it?" I'm like, "Do it. Do it now."
That's Nick's thing. Whenever you say, should I buy that? Nick's like, yes,
Do
you
it.
should do it.
He is a very bad conscience.
I am very, especially for buying things. Actually, it's been noted that I am emotionally stunted in the sense that, like, if something traumatic or tragic happens in my life, I always go and make a big purchase.
You need retail therapy.
I do retail
I
therapy.
am
It
like
always
that
makes
as
you
well.
feel bad.
Yeah. So my dad, when he had his first heart attack, like a week later, when he was like home and everything and resting, we went out and got a Jeep Cherokee for him. And he couldn't even drive it at that point. He
So
wasn't
you
cleared to
mocked him.
drive.
He had
That's
his
a
legs.
dick move, man.
So
He
no.
had his legs amputated.
So I was the one.
ridiculous.
I was the one to test drive it. Oh, I got pepperoni on me and cheese.
Jesus Christ.
Oh gosh. And then so he got that. Or COVID. I bought a motorcycle during COVID. Actually, that was right before COVID. No, it wasn't. It was during COVID.
And I'm like, should I buy a new TV? Nick's like, yes, do it.
Do it. I'll go with you.
Enabler.
Spend more money. spend
You don't
more.
want that one. You want that
Actually,
one.
I tried to talk you into the OLED, and you said,
Hell no.
too rich for my blood.
Yep.
Too
Nick
rich
is
for
good for the economy.
Yeah, he is.
I am.
Sony thanks you.
I'm very bad for...
You're bad for the wallet, but good for the
I'm
the,
very
the
bad on
economy.
personal finances,
Yeah.
but really good on buying stuff. So I like to buy dumb stuff.
All right.
It's okay. How do you think we got into this podcast? I'm like, guys, we can do it. We just got to buy like $20 worth of equipment. $900 of equipment later.
What currency exchange program are you?
Oh gosh,
looking
it's
at?
like I feel like I'm using like the Ugandan currency and exchanging it for American currency or something. I don't know. It's not good. It's not good. So real quick before we dive into the Flash.
What are we going to argue about?
Well, what were we arguing about earlier? And
Everything.
then Rob was yelling at us.
Strange New, or not
We-
Strange New
was
Worlds, Spider-Man.
Spider.
Spider-Verse.
Oh yes, we were talking. Okay. So, what was the comment you made about Spider-Man that people are saying?
No, it was.
You said it was
Oh,
groundbreaking.
okay. It says people are saying that I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really comment on it. But
Neither have I. So
people are
it's my
saying
specialty.
that it's like visually stunning and that it's groundbreaking. That it's really, really good. And I've heard that a lot of people say it's really good. I'm seeing it on Monday.
So I think I'm gonna go tomorrow.
Okay.
So anyone's invited if you want to go see Spider-Man with me. We'll get entangled in some webs together.
Don't think
Ooh.
anyone wants to do that.
Well, it's a standing
The
invite.
baseball game earlier says otherwise.
Yeah, right. Okay, so is it the most visually stunning film out there?
Which I don't think any of us can comment on because none of us have seen
Well,
it.
you can try commenting the first one.
We saw the first
Okay,
Spider-Man.
the first one was amazing.
But was it the most visually stunning film?
Ever? I haven't seen all the films, so I don't know.
Oh, get that.
Okay,
Come on.
Okay, this is a podcast where you form an opinion.
Yeah, you don't have to like be logical on this podcast. It's our podcast. You can just be an idiot.
I will.
That's what we're special at.
Smartest one in the room.
I will say that the
accurate.
first one was groundbreaking.
It was beautiful.
It was, and,
And
the,
it was,
the
and-
animation style was incredible.
But just like the Matrix, and I'm gonna parallel them in the Matrix because I think the Matrix was when it came out one
For
of
its
the
time.
For
Yeah.
its time, it broke ground, broke brand
absolutely
new
did.
ground.
Yeah,
It hasn't aged well because we've gone way past that.
right.
But the first, what was Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah,
Yes.
Was visually stunning. It was a live action comic book. It was
right. And didn't they filmed the rest of the cast? Like the rest of it was 30 frames per second, but him when he was jumping was like 24 frames a second
Yeah,
or something.
to show that
so
he
it-
was
like a comic character.
behind them
Yes.
in his
Yeah,
journey.
yeah, there you go.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. And then by the end, he was on the same speed or something
Yes,
like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it did
so
break
cool.
It
That's
did
cool.
break new ground, and it was very cool. It was very visually, it was visually stunning.
Yes.
But I think I've mentioned this before, where we live in a world of hyperbole, where everything that is brand new is the best thing ever.
Oh, that was the hottest take I've ever heard just now.
But everything that's
see what I
new,
did there?
everything
Yeah.
that's
See-
new is,
See, I did that
The
because it was
best ever.
hyperbole.
or it's the best movie,
That was
or it's the most visually stunning, or
Dang it.
it's this generation's whatever.
Right. There's a lot of truth to that.
We go to extremes.
But like,
Because we live in a perpetual hype machine.
right.
And
And
as soon as the hype machine is over, this Spider-Man
they're
movie,
gone.
it doesn't matter. What about the last live-action Spider-Man? That was the best Marvel movie ever made the week it came out.
until it wasn't
It was
anymore.
the best Spider-Man. It was one of the best movies of all time. These are all real things
Because
that people were saying.
founded by nostalgia for the first two. Andrew.
But
Garfield and-
to his
there-
point, everything kind of cooled down after that first week or two.
yeah, because
Yeah.
the excitement for it.
Well, yeah, his point
But we're
about
still
hyperbole.
we're still sort of riding out that excitement of this new.
I never thought it was the
Spider-Man.
best movie.
A lot of people.
I don't
did.
think it was. I don't think
it
it's
was okay.
groundbreaking. I think it's.
Are you talking about
it's-
the first Spider-Verse movie?
No.
No,
Or
now I'm talking
Spider-Man
about
Far
the-
From Home?
Now I'm
from-
now
No,
I'm
wait.
talking
Or
about
wait.
the second one.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Gosh, they all sound the same.
I know.
Homecoming. No Way Home. Far
Love
From Home.
Homecoming.
What's going to be the next one called? No Home? Aww.
Spider-Man Homeless.
Spider-Man be homeless because no one knows who Peter Parker is.
No one knows.
He's got no social security number.
That's
But
not
I-
what we're talking about.
I will say that both my kids,
Sad though.
both my kids have seen the movie twice
Yeah.
and said it's one of their favorite movies of all time. But they're my kids, so they're. What the hell do they know?
Yeah.
They live in hyperbole.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're young kids. They live in this world.
They're
They
also
were.
your kids.
Right.
They don't just live in this world. They were born in it.
Gosh, you're not allowed on this podcast. You're just roasting us. Oh,
Yeah, but she said the joke after I did. That's not that's not fair that she gets all the laughs.
Because I'm
I
funny.
never get laughs.
Because you're not funny.
I'm hilarious. Just ask someone.
You're living in your own head.
Just someone.
Ask someone.
Someone out there.
ask somebody.
Please,
Really
somebody. Just,
Somebody agrees with
please,
you.
just if there's a listener out there that finds me mildly comical, just say it.
734-494-0980.
I need some sort of. Is that the phone lines right
That's
now?
the phone
currently?
lines right now.
Yeah, that is our phone lines.
They're not doing too good. They're not doing too good.
Damn it.
But that's okay.
Listen, it's not for lack of trying. I come on this podcast week after week.
Delivering the worst quality content I can.
Absolutely.
That's our specialty.
It is our specialty. So, going back to Into the Spider-Verse, visually stunning. Okay, I can think of 10 films that were more visually stunning than Into the Spider-Verse off the top of my head.
Are you talking
Easily.
about the first one?
Go.
The first.
Yeah.
Go.
All right. So you got The Matrix,
Mm-hmm.
which was one of them. You have Tron Legacy, which was incredible. You have the original Star Wars movies, visually stunning. Yes, sir. Yes,
For their time. If you can
enough.
say The Matrix.
Fair enough.
The
If
Lord
we're
of the
going
Rings.
For their time. That's an entirely different
But
story.
if we're nobody
This is-
scoffed when he said The Matrix. The Matrix is 26 years old.
Yes.
Yeah, but Dad scoffed when he said Star Wars.
Because he
'Cause
hates
he hates
Star
Star
Wars.
I
Wars.
always hear Star Wars is visually stunning. The acting, the story. I'm tired of Star
the
Wars.
acting is terrible in Star
Hold
Wars.
on, hold on. If we go back to 1977 and look at what science fiction films were in 77,
2001: A Space Odyssey beats the crap out of it visually.
but what year was that? What year was that? 80.
Visually?
Visually, it's pretty good.
What year was 2001?
69.
It wasn't.
It was Nick. You got the computer.
2001.
I think it was it was after the first Star Wars. I'll bet $5.
68. 1968.
We never shook on it, so it doesn't count.
This is one of the first times ever that I was right. Well,
That's-
no, I was a year off, but
It was.
I was closer than you. 1968 was 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay.
So
You want
ahead
to put
of,
that on your list? Because you could.
oh, I could, yeah. I probably would mention some in there. I would absolutely put like the Lord of the Rings films in there. They were incredibly filmed. What am I at? Like 5 or 6? I would put.
I'm still waiting for something.
A specific movie. You're gonna
No.
name it.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
but you
no.
don't have taste. So
That's fine. I'm just waiting for you to name another animated movie.
That's visually stunning. Oh, let me look at it from
You're
that.
not going to though.
Ooh.
I don't
Who
know.
Framed Roger Rabbit? No, that's not visually
That
stunning.
kind of
no.
been that was revolutionary
That
at
That was
times.
kind of revolutionary.
It absolutely was.
Space
Good movie.
Jam?
No.
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 That
Who
took
Framed
what,
Ro-
that
That's a
that
good
just
movie.
that just rode the coattails of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
It really
No.
did.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. And it had Michael Jordan in it.
And Bugs Bunny.
Needing money to recover from that gambling problem. Eee.
Well, I mean, it is a realistic film.
It is. So, but you know, a movie like Dune would be up there as well. Dune was visually stunning.
Mad Max.
Mad
Fury
Max.
I've
Road.
heard about Mad Max a lot. I haven't watched it, but
Oh.
Mad
people.
Max, stunning.
Interstellar. Any Christopher Nolan movie, really.
This Oppenheimer looks legit.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
I want to watch that.
What,
so
you do?
So,
Wow.
do you think it's because it's an animated film that it sort of boosts its?
yeah,
It's
probably.
status?
Because it's something that never has been done before.
That's a
I think
good-
that did definitely boost it a lot because honestly, in my opinion, at least, it was extremely visually stunning. It was beautiful.
It was unique.
It was insane. Like the leap of faith scene. That was.
That was
I still
all-
get chills when I watch that scene. It was beautiful.
That was a beautifully done scene.
And just because something is visually stunning doesn't mean it's the most visually stunning. Sure, there are,
Okay.
and
That's a good
again, it is all a matter of opinion,
Okay. All right.
and it might be like a different generational thing. Like,
It's kind of
for
like
example, you grew up with these movies, so you might have a heightened view of them.
right. That's a good point. Yeah, when I was a little kid and was watching Empire Strikes Back, like I thought that was the most amazing. The Hoth scene was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen on film. Now I go back and watch it, and I'm like,
Well, it's like remember
a
when
little corny
Independence Day
looking.
came out?
Independence blowing up the White House, and
That was just everybody was like, oh.
but I was even thinking like video games, like back in the '80s when the original Mario came out, people were blown away by this game, and now you go back and play it, and you're like, are you?
They were blown
kidding
away
me?
back then because it was at that.
It was
point,
visually
the height of
stunning.
Mario
technology.
3 was
GoldenEye for Nintendo
Oh.
64 was visually stunning at that time.
Like,
And
give it 20 years, and the stuff that we consider visually
Especially-
stunning now is going to be like, oh.
I think you could argue that 2001, Space Odyssey, and Matrix, even Matrix to a certain extent, is still, you look at it and go, wow, what they did there was really cool.
especially for the time.
And I'm not a fan of 2001 Space Odyssey.
There are films within what Nick laid out, I think, that do stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are also some in there, I think, that maybe
Space Jam.
age.
The keyword you said there
diminishes.
was for the time.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you immediately are watching this and think, wow, for the time this was awesome.
That's your sign that maybe it wasn't. But you look, let's say you take the original Star Wars from 1977. They were doing things that no one else had ever done. They really, I mean, you watch some of those scenes and they still hold up
Incest,
really well.
that's true. That wasn't in movies.
Yeah. But like if you watch
Accidental incest.
the Death Star trench,
Happens to- it happens to everybody.
Happens to the best of us.
that Death Star trench run, there's no CGI there in the originals, right?
Ah.
And it's incredible what
Which
they
is going
did.
to lead us into the Flash here in a little bit.
Yes. Oh gosh.
It's practical effects.
So
Oh yes. Practical effects. Big.
my last point about it being animated is there's no anxiety of getting the shot. You create the shot. So everything can be perfect. It can take you forever, but everything can be perfect. Whereas
Yes.
all these movies that you're naming, there was some sort of setup to the shot.
1917.
You have to get the shot.
Dunkirk. Yeah, I'm adding more. 1917 is my big.
1917 would be on my list too.
Yes.
But I mean, you know what I mean? There's a setup and there's an execution, and there's so many real human beings in there, and everybody has to be on the same page to get the shot.
Well,
But
like, you look at-
animators do too.
Right, but there's less room for error with
There-
with humans.
There's no.
With animation, if you don't get it, it's
Well,
might be another 3 months or 2 months or whatever.
Right.
But you just have the team go back and reanimate it the way that we want.
Well, if you look at, like, they talk about the new Mission Impossible where Tom Cruise takes the motorcycle off the cliff.
Yeah.
They had to shoot that 34 times to get it right.
Yeah.
34 times.
That is
Yeah, he had to jump off that cliff
expensive.
30 some odd times. How many motorcycles did they pour bikes did they go through?
Expensive.
Those poor motorcycles.
I know.
Wow.
Better bring
Motorcycles matter.
Wow.
Better bring in a lot of money.
Yeah, it's true.
Here's Tom Cruise destroying another career of a motorcycle.
He's creating jobs. You know how many motorcycles they have to build?
That's true. That's a good point. That's true. At least he's not
The
jumping.
economy, they have to buy that many too.
Remember back in the day when we thought he was crazy because he jumped on a couch to say he loves someone? Now that seems like very sane
I know,
behavior.
you
for
just
the-
jumps off cliffs.
Turns out we were right.
well, yeah, but that seems like a very sane behavior for an actor or an actress now.
But that's not a
Because
feather in
everybody's so
his
animated.
cap. That means he's gone even beyond that. Where
yeah.
we look back at this insane
Well-
moment and we're like,
Back then, that was
There were signs.
back then that was revolutionary. Now everybody does it.
Yeah.
you think that was the Matrix? That was the Matrix moment.
It was
exactly.
the matrix of crazy actors and actresses. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna see Spider-Verse though, because the first one I probably gave it like a 9
It's
out
a
of
great
10.
movie.
That's a
It,
beautiful.
it might
amazing
actually
movie.
be
I
a
love
10
that
out of
movie.
10. That was a really
That was
good
a really
movie.
good movie.
It's hard to get a 10 out of me with movies.
I can give.
I would give the first one a solid 9.
Yeah, I'm a solid 9, leaning more towards like a 9.5. I think it was just
It
so
was
well done,
just so
emotionally
So one thing
impactful.
I'll agree with you on. It was so good.
I know. Thank
One
you
thing.
for agreeing.
There we
Yeah.
go.
It was so good. It was so good. So
But the
good.
thing is, I mean, in the long run, none of us can comment on it because we haven't seen it.
We can comment on all we want. This is our
But
show.
there's okay,
first
well,
one or
with
the
no
second one?
backing. The second one.
Oh, okay.
None of us have seen the second one. But there are a few points of it that like have never been done before. Like I'm pretty sure, and I might be wrong on this, but every character or most characters were each animated a different way, which kind of adds to the. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like aesthetic of it
The
all.
aesthetic
Yeah.
of the film, yeah.
And I think that that's why, like, I don't know, a lot of people are singing its praises is because it. I mean, yeah, that all of those pieces working together is insane, and it can be very easily done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very thin line of what's right, and they did that. So I think that's plays into it. But I don't know.
I think the point was made earlier. Puss in Boots did it wrong. Like they tried it and didn't work as well.
It
No,
did-
people loved that movie.
It was.
Yeah, but
it wasn't as impactful. The animation style wasn't as impactful in
Didn't
that.
leave that same impression.
Yes. And the whole movie wasn't like that, but like the fight scenes were, which was kind of jarring because everything was the smoother motion. And then they go to the fight scenes and they use the same animation
That's
style.
interesting.
Yeah, you-
Again, I haven't watched that.
You
either,
can
but I
take
think
big
that's
swings, but
interesting,
look at Galactic Star Cruiser. You take a big swing and just whiff sometimes,
You do.
and
You do.
whoosh, boom.
Star Trek Nemesis.
Star Trek Nemesis took a big swing.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, that's a big. Again, 9. This show sucks. 9.
I'll talk about it next week, but I have a point to that. I talked to my son about how I go on the podcast and I rate these episodes like 8s and 9s and
Yeah.
But overall the show I'm like, it's all right.
'Cause it could be like a you could
Like
the
I don't know what
show
it is.
Could
There's
be really
so-
good, but then the episode itself, like within the show, is like, okay, this is a better one.
show
of the
within a
Well,
show?
episodes I've seen.
we've done that a lot.
I'm the opposite, where like the show on a whole, I'm like,
No,
it's whatever.
No. If the
And
show
then each
is like,
episode, 9.
no, because if it's a 9,
What do you give the series? A 5 out of 10.
yeah, because if it's a 9 episode out of 5 out of 10 episode, it'd be like an actual
Yeah, but what-
5 out of 10 episode.
What if this hypothetical person goes on there week after week and giving almost all the episodes 8s and 9s?
Yeah.
Well, I think you're a hypocrite, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. I
yeah.
can't really comment on this
But what if-
hypothetical.
We will
person.
talk about that next
What
week.
if I
'cause
call
this
myself
was-
out? That's not
Yeah,
hypocritical.
well, that's still.
I'm self-aware.
You know, there you go. There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. Yeah. Where were we going with that? Oh, you were ripping Battlestar Galactica.
I'm sorry, I've never heard of it.
Oh, wow. That's very hurtful. I figure I
I'm
want
bringing that back, Joe.
I'm going to save my one review that I want to have about the Foo Fighters till next week's episode.
Okay, because I'll talk about an album next week too.
Because we still got to dive into the Flash, and then we still have to do
Lower Decks.
as well. So Joe abandoned us for the Flash. We had tickets to the Flash, and
I got
Joe.
some sweet press passes, and Joe's like, "Nah, I don't like you all."
Joe's life has been busy. Joe's
Yes.
been very busy. And Joe has made a list of who's most important, and we are definitely not even in the top 10 on that list.
You guys come in top 10.
Don't blame him for that.
Oh,
You guys are top 10.
wouldn't that be funny if you actually had to rank like things like you had to actually
You
tell the
do-
truth and
you
rank?
guys do fall behind my kids, though. Unfortunately, I mean,
Not on Saturday.
Sorry.
Sorry,
What?
Sorry, children. On Saturday,
I'm sorry.
They come up.
Can you
above you.
Can you say that again?
you guys fall behind my kids, and
That's
and
bull crap.
Okay, hold on.
That's
Hold
bull
on.
order
crap.
of-
On this list of pecking order, where's football?
Football's 0.0. It's number 0.
Because when I remember when my daughter was younger, she used to say how she hated football because, quote unquote, you pay more attention to it than me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she
because-
turned out fine.
As you're pushing her out of the way of the TV, move.
Football is my first love.
Hey, we heard Jason Hansen talk today.
Hear Jason Hansen talk today.
He's
And
still,
Don Muleback.
he looks good.
Yeah,
Did he
does.
snap it to him? Did he snap it to Jason?
Snap it away.
Jason Hansen, what is he like 40? Can he come kick for the Lions?
Dude,
still,
he's
you
like
think?
50
No,
something.
Jason's like 51 or
I
50.
know.
or 51, yeah.
He looks good though.
I bet he can still boot it.
Oh, he can still boot.
He's
Maybe
pretty
not-
thin now.
Yeah, because he probably had a big badonkadonk back in the day. He had to have good glutes for kicking the ball. He needed a big booty. He doesn't have a big booty anymore. He's a small
No?
man,
No?
pencil thin.
I don't know
He
about...
is 52 years old.
Nice.
Good for you, Jason. Good for you. All right. So, anyways,
Are you glad you came on the show?
Oh,
so we
yeah.
went to Rob got us tickets, press pass tickets to go see The Flash at Imagine Canton.
Oh, must have been nice.
There
It was really
I was
nice.
waiting for that.
Well, and so you got there. The movie started at 7. So you two got there at what, 5:45 ish?
4:15 if
Yeah,
I
about
know Rob.
5:45.
Yeah.
5:45,
I wanted to get there that early.
and by then you were already stuck in the second row,
Yeah.
right? So like the seats had already filled up that quickly.
So the press passes, it's still first come, first serve, unless you're like the newspapers or like the hierarchy.
Then
So
you-
for us podcast, it was first come, first serve.
I got a
First come-
did you see any media that you recognized?
No, the last one I went to, I did see Mitch Albom though.
Jay Towers and the Morning
Oh,
Crew
yeah.
were there.
Yeah.
Were they?
No.
They're like, where's Joe at?
Yeah, Jay was looking for you.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Kinda,
So
he kind of blew me off. He was a...
we got there pretty early. They didn't come in and give any announcements like, hey, like they did say no cell phones, but that was it.
Yeah.
They didn't say like no talking about this. There was no rules about talking about
There was
the
a dude
film.
taking photos.
No, there's no rules because of the day we watched it, the
The
embargo
review
was
embargo
gone.
had lifted.
It's gone.
So
that
they
day.
have confidence in this movie.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Should they have had confidence in this movie?
All right. So do we dive in? So first of all, should we go with a spoiler?
We're gonna try our best.
I say give it 5 or 10 minutes of spoiler-free review.
Okay.
And then go into something a little bit
So
deeper.
let's do some spoiler-free reviews.
Sure.
So the first thing I will say is CGI was absolutely abysmal.
It was horrible.
especially in parts.
It was so
Some
bad.
of the
Notably,
worst
you could
CGI I've ever seen.
I've heard that from multiple sources, and that's a bummer.
There was
and it was distracting
Why-
at times.
There was an
Okay.
opening scene, like a rescue scene, and there was CGI babies in there that were terrifying looking.
It was pretty funny though.
That was hilarious, but really bad.
It was really bad. And then, I mean, some of the CGI was really good. Supergirl was good. Zod was good. Like the fights was like
Well-
the endings fights were good. The CGI when he's in the time,
Yeah, the Speed Force.
the Speed Force,
You're welcome.
It was
is really bad.
really bad.
Really terrible.
Really,
I understand
really
why they
bad.
can't
Distractingly
do
bad.
practical for many things,
Well,
but like
yeah.
they should do a little bit more practical shots. I don't
I
want all green screens.
swear.
I
In the early 2000s, I think we've talked about this, that CGI was far superior than it is now.
Well, there's rumors that that is the truth, because back then there wasn't as much demand for CGI in film, so studios could devote their times. But now you have Marvel movies coming out 4 or 5 a year, so these studios are overburdened with work.
they also didn't use as much of it.
Yeah,
It
well,
was a lot
that's
of
true.
practical
a
effects.
lot of practical. Like you look at Christopher Nolan, he mainly uses practical effects and
Like,
uses
and-
CGI.
and
I
they
hate,
look
I hate to say
visually
this,
cool.
but so the family, the boy and the girl and the wife have been watching Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Spot on.
And how have you ever seen the behind the
Yeah.
scenes on how they do?
That's how they filmed the Batman too,
with the big screens.
with the big screens.
Oh,
That's how they
really?
filmed
Yep.
Strange New Worlds. With the
Yeah.
big screens.
Yes, and
So-
that's incredible.
But even like with the
technology.
ships and things the way they execute it is almost seamless.
They should go back to models.
It just seems like again, you don't want to spoiler, but some of the people that showed up in the Speed Force, it's like, oh man,
like, oh, come
that's
on.
rough.
It looked really bad. It looked
was-
almost like it was like a mannequin or a
Yeah.
doll,
So
and it was bad.
my question is, when are we going to get like really good CGI? Because AI is taking over, right?
That's when we're gonna get really
So
good CGI.
is anybody watching like the NBA Finals or anything?
No.
No.
Okay, so there's have you seen the commercial with Charles Barkley and
Oh
Yes.
yes.
So how come I can see 1993 Charles Barkley with current Charles Barkley and it looked pretty damn good?
Yeah.
But you go to a movie and you're like, that sucks.
Yeah.
A lot of movies are really crunched for time. Like they
I think that's
they
the
drain
issue.
those artists dry. Like,
But
they-
like The Flash was done 4 years ago. This movie has been done
I
for
don't-
years. And so that's what I don't get. Or did they just get to the point where they're like, "Oh, we got to be done sinking money into this?
I think maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know.
Whatever
AI
it was, whoever did the special effects that need to be fired.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
when I see commercials that look better than like some of the recent CGI movies, like
Well, half the stuff like in Strange New Worlds is CGI. I mean,
Yeah.
it just look at the old Star. Even like if you look at the original series Star Trek movies, that was practical. Sure,
Yeah.
looks a lot better than this crap that we're seeing now.
Yeah.
so you mentioned Mandalorian. Look how they treated Luke Skywalker. That looked pretty good.
But it didn't initially in the Mandalorian, that one season finale where they did him. It looked a little not great. And then when
Yeah.
he was in the Book of Boba Fett, that's when
That
they
looked
really
pretty
showed
good.
him, and he was great
Yeah.
in that one. And I'm like, oh, they could really make a series with a young Luke Skywalker, based off. Of
I don't
that.
know that I'd want to see a series with it with
No,
AI.
I think that'd just
Yeah.
be weird.
Okay.
We're getting there though. We're gonna
gonna
see
happen.
Oh, it's
completely
gonna get
AI
to that
series.
point.
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh, just look
bad.
what they
There's a
did with
documentary.
Spock.
There's a
Yes,
documentary that came
yes.
out. I saw this somewhere, and it was like completely written and performed in like by AI.
Oh, it's gonna happen, and we're not gonna know when it happens.
Our next Patreon is going to be written by AI.
Actually,
When is AI gonna replace us?
I actually just
soon.
read
We're
an,
AI proof.
I read an article the other day about this person who worked as a copywriter and how when GPT came out, they were like writing articles about it, about how interesting it was, and he was constantly busy. And then all of a sudden they weren't asking him to work on pieces as much, and then like a week later he was called in and fired, and it's because they switched to Chat GPT
My oldest son
for copywriting.
almost every day shows me videos of like some sort of AI or technology. I go, We had a good run, bud. It's over for us.
It's
It's
over.
a big part of the writer's strike right now is because they're being replaced by AI.
Oh my
It's-
gosh.
Humans had a good run. What, a billion years? I mean, a ton.
When's the
So-
Terminator coming?
You know what's scary about this more to me is the thought all along, like you look in the Star Trek universe, they're like, well, this is going to free you up to do more creative endeavors so you can really pursue what you really
They
love.
really had a nice
no,
outlook, didn't
Chat
they?
GBT is like doing artwork and music.
taking our
and-
germs.
They're taking our germs.
They really are.
They're taking our- They took our
Say it louder. Go
germs.
ahead.
No, I'm
They're
not.
taking our
dibs.
They took our germs.
South Park.
I don't find it funny.
You should get out.
They're taking the jobs or South Park?
South Park has moments. I don't
You
find
should
it funny.
just get
I
out.
don't find it funny
You
overall.
should just get out.
The taking our jobs
don't.
part was funny because it's just all these like angry
Hillbillies.
hillbillies. Just they took our jobs. Yeah,
I
they're
know.
taking our job. Oh yeah, you know.
I know. I saw the episode.
Gosh, I hate you, Joe.
I know.
I
I
hate
love
you
that
so much.
episode.
Joyce, this TV takes are really rough.
They're bad. They're not rough. They're bad. You just hate everything
he's
that
got
other
good
people
takes.
like.
I have great. First of all, Scrubs is bad is an excellent take.
No,
and
no,
it's
not.
Okay. The vast majority of the TV watching public agrees with me.
don't
False.
think they do.
It was a highly rated television program for many years.
Do you remember what I said earlier? I said the general public is incredibly dumb.
Yeah, you did. You did. You did. You did say that. You did say that. All right. So back to the
Anyways,
Flash.
right,
CGI was
CGI.
bad. Let's move past CGI. Movie itself. Good, bad.
Ugly.
Okay, so I'd say that I watched it. It was okay. I liked the opening scenes. I said before we had a conversation before this. I don't like multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
Overall, I wouldn't watch it again. If it was on in a room I was in, I wouldn't pay attention. It wasn't just enough to captivate my attention. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it was just,
Yeah. Do you? Okay. I thought it was solid. I would probably give it. After it was done, I said 8 out of 10, but maybe 7.5 out of 10 would be a more accurate number for me. Ezra Miller was very impressive. You forget that they were playing two characters. Like, it's uncanny how well they do that.
And
With
clearly
it's almost
define
like-
two different characters.
Clearly
Yeah.
different people. Yes.
Almost as if they have practice doing that.
Split
Making-
personalities
Yeah,
are great.
yeah, exactly. You know, that's true. That's true.
Um,
He was great, or they were great. I'm sorry.
canceled.
I really liked Michael Keaton was solid. Sasha Kelly was good. She had a smaller role, but she was good.
I thought she was good with what they gave her.
yeah, they didn't give her much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was good. I thought the first act was stronger than the second act,
definitely.
which is interesting because the second act is when they start introducing things like Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah, we can say that. That's no spoiler.
That's not a spoiler.
That was
You
in
know,
the trailer, right?
Yeah, you already know Michael Keaton's Batman's going to be in there. But yeah, I thought the first act was definitely the strongest act. The third act, which is always the problem with these comic book movies now, they can't nail the third act.
And in this movie, they were really trying to stuff a lot in there,
Yeah.
which
I feel
took
like
away
there's a
from
lot
the
going
heart
on.
of the story.
Oh, some of that fan service was a little too heavy-handed, I thought, to me. Like, there. I mean, we'll get in the spoilers in a minute. But yeah, some of the fan service was just like, I was groaning more than like, people in the audience were clapping, and I'm like, oh, come on, people.
It
Let's
was when they're
not-
going, oh,
Yeah, they were so excited about it.
it's hard for this. I feel bad for this movie in a way because the TV show Flash's first season
Yeah.
did this story, and they did it a lot better.
Yeah, because they had Zoom and they had Reverse Flash.
They had
in
Reverse
there.
Flash in there, and it was the same thing about his mom and whether I should do or investigate what happened.
I think the emotional impact was better in this one.
See, I don't agree.
Like,
I think they nailed it in the first season of The Flash.
but they also had 24 episodes.
That's true, but that's what I'm saying is that's up against something that had more time
Yeah.
to flesh it out and take time with it
Yeah,
than this movie had to do. It was 2.5 hours already,
yeah,
so in a way, it wasn't fair to compare the two, but you kind of have to.
yeah,
And then to your point about cameos, Crisis on Infinite Earth
Yeah.
nailed it,
yeah.
and so it's kind of hard. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I watched it with you.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, we did. So overall, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but it was not by far the best comic book movie you've ever seen.
No, that was hyperbole
Yes,
for sure.
absolutely
Weird.
was.
Weird. Didn't expect.
It was what they just used for advertisements.
Yeah. I could see why people really enjoyed it.
Is it better than a lot of the Marvel stuff? Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Recent Marvel stuff.
Yes. And I would say by recent Marvel stuff, anything post Endgame, I think it's been better than.
Yeah.
I could see your point.
Marvel at the top of like they were at
I
the peak
disagree.
of story writing.
Then they went to the multiverse. They screwed it up.
Well, even before the multiverse, I agree. I think
Before the multiverse.
it goes back to Endgame. I think
I'm trying to Thor. Thor is not multiverse.
Well, no, like what came out after?
Thor Ragnarok came out after
No, they came out
Endgame.
before
After
Endgame.
That's right.
Endgame?
Right.
Because there was No Way Home.
Black
there was
Widow?
Multiverse of Madness.
Mark,
Black Widow.
what? Okay, so
liked
here's a
Black
question
Widow.
for you guys: what CGI was worse, Black Widow or this?
This.
I haven't seen this, but I would say Black Widow.
It's Black Widow. I still stand with Black Widow.
I didn't.
Black Widow is
Black
some of the
Widow
worst
was
CGI I've seen.
terrible.
Maybe I wasn't
of recent
paying
It
that
was
memory.
much
also
attention to it.
mid-COVID.
There was no
So-
CGI like
Yeah, but
the
it was
CGI.
everything was
Okay.
most of that was made before COVID.
Yeah.
Still.
I think the people who were doing the CGI probably had COVID based on what I saw.
I tell you though, that Black Widow's the opening credits.
The one with the
oh,
that
so
was
good.
really impactful.
Like
That
the
was awesome.
the opening of that movie was really well done.
Really well done.
But
I think Scarlett Johansson is still falling.
yeah, maybe. So yes, CG. Yeah. So let's start to get into spoilers here now. So Joe earmuffs.
That's fine.
Starting.
Wait.
Oh,
Okay.
he's looking
After
at the.
post
So after
Endgame,
game-
Far From Home. Far From Home was good. Far From Home was good.
it was, yeah.
really good.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. I loved that movie. I thought it was good.
I think this was better. than
Eternals.
Shang-Chi
I have
for me.
not seen.
Garbage.
It's not good.
And then we had No Way Home, which I thought was good.
Another home Spider-Man
Multiverse of
movie.
Madness, and this may just be my love for.
Yeah, you're a
one and
homer
Axel
on
off,
that one.
But I thought that was a decent movie. Not great, but decent. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Eh.
Not memorable.
That's good. That's a good way to say it.
You want to talk about bad CGI? The floating face kid.
Yeah.
No, there was a few parts in the Flash movie where I was like, "Oh, someone's gonna meme this. Someone is
Yeah.
going to meme
Oh, yeah.
this."
There's gonna be. Oh, the babies for sure are gonna be memed. Yeah.
That was really. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I've heard wonderful things about.
I
Haven't
thought it
seen
was.
I have as well.
Quantumania. I've heard
good.
that it's good. Again, haven't seen it.
Uh.
Quantumania, is that multiverse? No.
No.
Quantum Realm.
I don't know, but
and then,
it's not. it's not-
Black Panther. Also, the second one came out, and I've heard really good things about that.
You know
one,
what's
too.
so funny though? You named all those movies, and I'm like, they've already done that though. They've already done the first one you mentioned, the Spider-Man movie. They're basically the same movies for me. Like all of his movies are very similar.
I
That's
really
wildly-
enjoyed.
I enjoy them.
Homecoming.
I enjoy them. I love them. But it's like this is like the Taylor Swift conversation I was having. They have found their niche, and they will not
Niche.
deviate it. Niche.
Ooh, interesting.
Thank you.
Here's a debate.
Nailed it.
I'm a niche guy.
It's niche.
Niche.
It is niche.
Okay.
Niche, not Nietzsche, because that's a
Nietzsche.
philosopher.
It's why don't you spell it Neesh? Niche.
Niche. They found their niche, and they're sticking with it. Taylor Swift has nailed her niche, and that is the niche she's staying in. That's the only niche she wants to be in. She doesn't want to be in any other niche.
We need
She
a
found her
different word.
niche. Yes, I know. I was just doing that on purpose.
You know you were.
On purpose.
Fantastic.
I still can't believe they took 2 years off between Spider-Man, Far From Home, and Black Widow.
Well, that was COVID.
COVID.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, that was. I mean,
Black Widow released at home, and that's what the whole lawsuit
We saw
was
it in the
about.
theater. And there
I
was like
saw-
2 people.
yeah, I
we
saw it
did
in the
the popcorn
theater, too.
bucket.
Okay.
that was the first movie
Oh,
I
how
think I
quick-
went back to.
How quickly we forget about COVID.
How quickly we forget. All right, so going in the spoilers, there's the opening scene where they're rescuing the babies, okay? Where he's rescuing babies that are falling out of a window.
I would have just cut that scene entirely.
So do you...
No, you need that 'cause it was hilarious.
I enjoyed it.
he enjoyed watching babies fall to their demise.
Did they?
Little bum, they saved them.
Oh, did they save all of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
No children dies in the
Although
making
one of
the
them
film.
did go in a microwave, and I thought that was.
Who did
Wait,
someone turn the
He puts
microwave
the baby in the
Thank
microwave
you.
to
That's
protect
what
it.
I wanted to know.
I thought it was.
It was
quite
unplugged.
comical.
Nobody bumped it with their elbow.
The microwave was unplugged.
Yeah. Flashed
So-
in power with his lightning.
Who unplugs a microwave?
So
What,
did you see
gonna
the
blow
X-Men-
Falling
circuit?
out of a window.
Did you see the X-Men movies with like the Quicksilver scene where he's rescuing everyone and setting?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did it way better than the Flash did. That Flash scene, the way I get what they were trying to do. It was kind of funny and quirky because he was hungry, so he's trying to eat food as he's doing all this. But
Did he eat
like
the babies?
he did not eat the babies.
Another very good thing that they could have done.
They could have done that. They have a nice, Batman's in there at the beginning. The Ben Affleck
Alfred.
Batman, Alfred's there. It's the
Jeremy Irons is so good.
it's the goofy Ben Affleck. It's not the serious Batman.
No,
It's
there's serious.
No, he
there
was
a
goofy
balance.
because of, and I'm gonna.
The Lasso of Truth?
The Lasso of Truth, because
'Cause-
Wonder Woman showed up.
which honestly, any movie is automatically better if you have Gal Gadot in there. Right away, they go.
I find it so funny how whenever she shows up in a movie, they do the exact same thing. Where
It's the
they're
same
like, "Oh no,
scene.
this is gonna happen," and then she's like, "No, it's not," and they play the music, and she saves the day, and then
And then she
leaves.
walks off.
And
She can save any
Almost
of us
like
anytime.
she's a superhero.
like the
I
Shazam.
just find it no. I
You know that
just find it hilarious.
Shazam scene at
Yes,
the end
that
of
was
Shazam?
ridiculous, and I
it's
hated
literally almost the exact same
I
thing.
hated that.
Except for the
scene,
Lasso of
that
Truth.
scene was so bad. It
It was so bad.
It detracted from the movie in
They
like
should have just
as a
left the
whole.
They should have just let the dude dead, because that would have been like a very jarring end scene. That,
We were
like,
talking
would've
about
been
Gal
like,
Gadot here, guys.
whoa. Okay,
Let's
yes,
focus.
yes. Let's focus.
Yeah, but I think having Ben Affleck
Gal
in the movie
Gadot.
is like offsetting the Gal Gadot.
Is it, though?
No.
Yeah, Ben
Okay.
Affleck is
Disagree.
Ben Affleck's a bum.
So,
I don't know.
such
Okay, this
I
is
hate him
because
so
I'm
much.
not
He's a
really a
bum.
DC fan. I think he's good as Batman. I don't really care for him.
Ooh. Shots
I
fired
don't,
at
I
Joe.
don't think he's a
I don't really
bad
care.
Batman.
I don't think he is either.
I think Val Kilmer.
in Batman
Maybe, okay.
versus Superman.
Okay, but again, I have
no, I
another
think he played the role well. I think it was written poorly.
Yeah.
a very
think-
controversial opinion. I liked the Justice League movie, so I take my opinions of DC for granted.
Mhm.
Wait. Which DC? You got to tell him which Justice League movie you
The
like.
first
Sex.
one.
Oh.
The regular-
Whedon.
I don't know.
She liked the Whedon cut.
Okay, again, I was like
It all
12.
makes sense now, really.
I was like 12 and a severe Marvel fan, so let's calm down
Oh,
here
okay.
for a minute.
Okay, that's fine.
But
And it was
I
basically
thought,
a Marvel
so,
movie.
I mean, that was kind of the only Batman I really like experienced, so that might be why I. But I think he's fine.
Okay.
Like I said, I think he did a nice job with the material. It was
And he
written
wasn't in
poor-
it much. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think he looks like Batman.
he has
Oh,
five
he's got the build.
5
man.
to 10 minutes of screen time.
I let him
like-
Batman me any day.
Like if you think Bruce Wayne, I mean, he kind of like looks like what you would.
He
think
does.
of like a rich billionaire.
He looks like a
guy.
rich billionaire.
I think
like-
Val Kilmer currently would be a better.
Shut
Batman.
up.
George Clooney would have been a better Batman.
No one says that.
Yeah.
No one
I'll
says
take the
that.
Val Kilmer that was in Top Gun Maverick over Ben Affleck.
So when he goes to say I am Batman, he just goes,
Yeah, they just AI the voice in, and you're good.
okay.
Um,
Should not make fun of that. That's sad. That's too bad. That's sad.
He's been dead for a while,
Bill Kilmer, is he dead?
isn't he?
No,
dead?
No, he's
alive.
alive. He was in Top Gun
Nick
2.
kills people.
No,
you
in
don't.
Top
He
Gun.
doesn't have diabetes.
And no, in Top Gun he dies.
In Top Gun he dies. But
In
not
Top
real
Gun
life.
2, he dies.
Yeah, well, yeah, in Top Gun 2 he dies.
Top Gunner.
Remember, Nick kills the people on the show. We don't.
No.
Yeah, you don't kill
No,
anyone.
that's
okay.
why I said I take Val
Okay.
Kilmer now.
Okay. Getting us back on track. So we have this rescue scene, and then Barry decides to travel back in time, and he changes some things, and he goes home and gets to be with his mom and everything. And then he's introduced to the other version of Barry, who is an 18-year-old college student who's like a big-time stoner.
Stoner to the max.
And he's got roommate stoners, and that was pretty funny. Like the stoner scenes with him were pretty good, especially because the other version of Barry is played very seriously.
And his mom is there, so she's babying him now. So you could see the difference and why the difference was there.
And why he is the way he is. Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting. And then they decide they're in a world where there's no superheroes, there's no Aquaman, there's no Cyborg, there's no Wonder Woman. So there is a Bruce Wayne. They did know there was a Batman because they said Batman in front of the stoners, and the stoners were like, "I'm Batman." Yeah. So they're like, "Oh, there's a Batman." So they go to Bruce Wayne's house, and you walk in, and the very first room you
Wait.
see.
you missed the power switch. That was.
Oh yeah, they switch powers.
So regular Barry gets no powers,
And
and
the-
stoner Barry gets a lot of powers.
But the cool scene is they go into the Wayne
Wayne
Manor,
Manor.
and the first room they walk into has all the suits of armor in
The
it.
armory.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then they're walking through the rooms. They walk in the room with the big long table that Vicky Vale and him had dinner at, and then they finally go into the kitchen, where they ended up eating dinner, and there's Bruce Wayne hiding in a closet wearing flip flops. and just goes on to beat the crap out of them because he doesn't know who they are, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
A lot of CGI in that scene too that I didn't really dig.
See, I didn't notice as much there, so I don't care as much.
It wasn't great to me, but he kicked butt. And once they introduced Michael Keaton in there, some of it was a little too fan servicey the way he talked, like they want to get nuts, let's get nuts.
It was out of place. It was forced.
But they're gonna do that because whatever. There was some gags in there like, oh, what is this? And he pulls out a bag with a laughing box in there, which was kind of a cool scene.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough.
So I was just waiting for you to tell me to stop. I wasn't going to stop until you did.
Stop.
So, anyways, they finally get Batman the team up. They go to rescue.
Because Zod came around, and that's why they went to Batman.
They went to Batman because they needed his help, and they needed to get Superman. And they go to rescue Superman, and ain't no Superman.
Russian prison or something.
It's I was thinking like it was the United States at
I
first.
thought they're going to do Red Sun for a minute, which is a comic book where Superman's actually raised by Russians.
He's a Russian Superman.
He's not a great guy.
He's not good.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
Wonder why.
Yeah. So they find Wonder Woman. No, I mean Supergirl. Supergirl stuck. Supergirl don't want anything to do with humanity. She thinks humanity sucks for good reason.
I'm with Supergirl.
I love.
I mean,
her
they
suit.
I
thought
her
it was really
suit
nice.
was
I thought it was
really well
cool.
done, but her CGI was really bad in that rescue scene when she's flying around in her
Yeah, that was
her
really bad.
hospital gown. Oh, it's so bad.
I think I'm so distracted by the Speed Force that maybe I didn't notice the rest of it.
Yeah, that it was not
Because
good.
something so objectively bad, you're just like, oh.
Everything wasn't nearly
Everything
as
wasn't
bad.
as nearly
so
bad as that.
must have been good.
So, I mean, it ultimately leads down to this final showdown that they have with Zod. They got to stop Zod from destroying the world, and they can't stop him. Like, he wins, which was kind of cool, right? Like, Batman dies, Supergirl dies, so Crazy Bear... so
Hey, you could have gone. That's all we're saying.
Step out of the room if you'd like.
So
The whole movie.
Barry, goes back in time.
He tries to change it again.
Tries to change it again.
And again.
Doesn't work.
And again.
And again. And again. And again. And again. And again. And then he becomes the bad guy because he's like so obsessed with
The one who originally, and we mentioned this before, like pushed him out of the speed thingy to make him go into the stoner
to
universe.
create himself. Yeah. So it was kind of a cool story because the climax of the movie, while it was a big battle, the good guys lose. They ultimately lose.
Good.
And they would always lose. Like Batman's always going to lose to General Zod, especially Michael Keaton Batman in his 60s. Yes, he's always going to lose.
Batman figured it out.
But it was good to see him in the suit again.
Yeah, it was.
Ugh. And the Batwing was cool.
Yeah.
I like the Batwing. It's a little different than the one from the 89. They show you the Batmobile, but it never drives, which was sad.
Ooh.
I know, right? That was a big heartbreak. I mean, it was enjoyable. Like, that's the thing. All the plot points were really well done plot points. Act 1 nailed it. Act 2 was kind of Act 3 was but like the climax of it was solid.
Like,
So
they had
here's-
a good idea for it.
Well, here's
Yeah.
the issue. What it was, because you already had your 2.5 hour movie. So
Oof.
to the point of can't save her, you can't save him, you can't save him, you can't save him, you can't save him. The emotion of that, because you didn't have time to really kind of build upon that emotion,
Yeah.
is where it loses it a little bit. It's done. I still like it. I still thought it was okay, but that emotion part
I
is
can see that.
where you couldn't really build on that part to make it more impactful.
Yeah.
I think if they could find a way to make that, okay, I failed again. Okay, I failed again. If they could take a little bit more time with that notion of going,
Yeah.
and make that more of the impact,
Yeah.
it could have heightened that movie quite a bit.
So you're saying the movie wasn't long enough?
Yes, I actually think it probably needed a little bit more time or time reallocated.
Yeah, with like some things need to be to get more.
I'm gonna
2.5
say
hours is a long
I'm gonna
movie.
say a
Long
controversial thing. I think they could have done without having Batman in it. Really,
Ooh.
they didn't need Michael Keaton.
You don't even listen to this show, do you?
I know.
Batman makes everything better,
Oh my god.
Trust me.
including the Flash.
Trust
Oh my
me, I
God.
loved Michael Keaton in there. But if you're looking for areas to cut to give you that greater emotional impact, that was probably
Joe,
one.
Can you say that again so you make sure she hears it?
Oh my god.
Batman
No.
makes everything
No.
better.
Everything.
No.
Or
Cooking?
no.
What if you had Christian Bale, a younger Batman, who's a little quicker? You could have sped up that runtime. The scenes could have been a little tighter, and then you would have had
How
more
tight?
time. You know, I mean,
Christian Bale type.
This is why I don't
He's ripped. Good looking man.
Really,
Christian
Christian Bale?
Christian Bale?
He's not a good-looking man.
Not a
He's a
good-looking man.
gorgeous man.
You're blind.
Gorgeous?
You're blind.
Are you okay? Are you having a stroke?
I'm
Are you
all right.
actively having a
I
stroke?
would give him average.
Oh no, he's gorgeous.
No.
Gorge.
We're talking
did-
like
I mean,
now
I-
or then.
Everybody knows your taste in women is garbage. Now your taste in men is
Yes.
suspect too.
Like, are we
What
talking
you
now or then? Because like I don't.
Well, not. I
Gorgeous?
mean, not on the left, but the middle. He's good looking.
So
He's good looking there.
Gorgeous. You use the word gorgeous.
I mean, he's a gorgeous man.
If he's not an actor, he's below
he's
average.
at best. No, yeah.
hey, I love those movies. I love Batman. He's not gorgeous.
You're both wrong. You're all three wrong, actually. Now I can say all three of you are
You're
wrong.
out
wrong.
of your mind.
No, he's.
We're
good.
looking at it on the computer right now.
He
Everybody.
looks good right there with the mustache and the.
He looks
No.
good. Gorgeous? Hell no.
He's gorgeous. I love him. I love him.
No, he
How are you
looks-
just continuously wrong about everything?
I can't help it.
You can't help being
No, he
wrong.
looks like he
It's a
he,
sickness.
he looks like he's
Yes.
currently on work release.
He's going to turn his life around. He
Yeah,
will.
like, that's average.
No, that's not
I
average.
give that
He- I-
average.
I would say Christian Bale definitely benefits from being clean shaven.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
His best looks are clean shaven.
I'll give you a 1 agree too.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think it looks good there, though.
No.
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 No, it's got hearts around it already. 'Cause that's American Psycho, Christian
Yeah.
Bale. Oh, the machine. You got to give the man credit, though. He lost. He
We're
went to-
saying nobody's saying anything about his acting.
Oh.
No
He's,
one is giving.
he's
no
a
one is saying anything
fantastic
about
I'm not.
actor.
Who's more attractive, Christian Bale or Leonardo DiCaprio?
Leo.
Leo.
No.
Yes.
Neither of
No.
them. They're
Wait,
both.
hold on. Current or historically, or in
There's
sum
a picture
total?
right there. Right there. That picture right there. Christian frickin' Bale
No.
over
I
Leonardo.
think they're equally gross currently.
I have
Oh.
to agree with that. No, I got to agree with that. They're just.
Leo is kind of gross. Like only
Average.
dating 20-year-old women. Like,
25 is where he cuts it off. Thank you.
oh gosh,
That's just average.
it's a little creepy.
Like I'm not.
But in their prime, Leo is head and shoulders above.
Go to the next
Christian Bale.
picture. Go to the next picture. We're arguing over Leo. That picture.
Okay,
That's-
first
that's
of all,
in his prime,
okay,
Leo.
That picture. That
no,
picture.
that's not in his prime, Leo.
Yeah, it is.
That's go back to
That's
that.
like blood diamonds.
I'm gonna need you to put this exact picture up on YouTube.
Okay.
Because that is in his prime, Christian Bale,
Yes.
and that is trending past his prime, Leo DiCaprio.
What would be the Leonardo DiCaprio movie where you say he is gorgeous?
I never said he's gorgeous.
Okay,
I
the-
said he's more attractive than.
How's that work?
No, he's
No, that's still no. Look up Leonardo DiCaprio.
I think Leonardo DiCaprio just isn't attractive.
Hot take.
Wow. I'm just
I
looking
don't-
up
I
Leo.
don't-
Just not.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I think he's
okay,
objectively more
okay.
attractive than Christian Bale.
No. I
Here,
disagree
here
with
he is
that.
in his prime, right there. That would be his prime, I would say.
Close to.
Yeah.
I think they're both just equally average. Like there's just like nothing special about either of them.
I mean, they're talented.
Their wallets are special.
Yeah, their wallets are very special.
Their wallets are very attractive.
They got
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, those are extremely
They-
attractive.
That's what I'm saying.
They got some big wallets.
So let's all
How many
put the
credit cards do you think their wallet can fit? At least 4 credit
They
cards?
don't need credit cards, man.
4 credit cards is a lot of credit cards, though, right?
Let's put everything out on the table though. Men objectify women for certain reasons, and women objectify men for certain reasons.
Yeah.
They just happen to be different. Ours are physical, some are financial. Because
Hey.
there's no reason that other than them being
That's not even your
celebrities,
type.
but other than them being
It's not my
celebrities
type. It's not
and
my
being
type at all.
loaded.
You could still
You could
appreciate.
still okay. Listen, yeah, you could still like.
You're
find
baiting. You're baiting
You
right
could still
now.
find a pair of
Hetero
shoes
baiting?
good
You're
looking
baiting.
and not being attracted to.
Yeah.
them.
You're
Like-
hetero baiting
But
right
no,
now.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Christian Bale are both average
Which I
at
know
best
is
looking
attractive.
men.
Anson Mount.
That's a good looking man.
That's
That is
a good-looking
good-looking
man.
Anson Mount is more attractive than Christian Bale in his
I'm
prime.
not even attracted to
Yes,
him.
I'm not-
Good looking
hold on.
man.
I'm not going to just...
Combined with Leo in his prime. If you added them together in their prime, current Anson Mount is more
Yeah,
attractive.
that's
Who's
true.
more? What's more attractive, Anson Mount or his hair?
Anson Mount's more
that
attractive
hair.
now.
Now we're
Now we're having a debate.
Now we're
that
having
hair.
a debate.
That hair is gorgeous.
We're on to something
Yeah,
here.
here.
Yeah, we
That
are.
hair.
Hair.
Yeah. So what's the most attractive part of him? Neck to forehead or forehead and above?
Forehead and above, baby.
Forehead and above.
That's
That hair is something
He's
gorgeous.
got a nice jawline.
That is a
Dude.
really actually that is a very that's
I'm
ooh.
very jealous of
That's
his hair.
difficult.
I can't lie.
He has a nice
He
jawline.
is very I mean he has like a good looking
He's
face.
a good looking dude.
Mm-hmm.
His Pike personality helps it out.
Oh, it definitely does, absolutely.
Solid hair though. That hair is that's
hair is-
Smithsonian hair.
That is beautiful. That is a
Is that really
Beautiful updo.
is that really his hair? You think, or do you think they
Yeah.
like put?
I think that's
like,
his hair.
that's
no,
just a good looking
that's AI.
do
That's
you,
AI hair.
do you think they put
Are
extensions?
you
in it?
asking? Are you wondering when AI is gonna get the hair?
Oh my gosh, it's
Oh my
not going to be
God.
long.
Can some,
That would have come in really handy for the
how
career
long it takes
of.
to animate and like that's
This hair is
I love
ridiculous.
hair.
Sorry for you guys listening on like Apple or whatever that is, but we're just ogling Christopher Pike's hair.
Why Apple?
and Anson Mounts.
Well, they don't pay us. That's why.
Apple doesn't pay us?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We're getting paid.
We're getting paid. No one told me about that.
That's just a good looking dude. Like I
Yeah.
He's a good looking dude.
Speaking of good-looking dudes, Nick wants to move the subject along to something else. Okay.
Me? Because we're talking about good
We
looking
talked
dudes.
about the Flash. We kind of moved on from the Flash. We
No.
said it was good, but it wasn't great.
Do you think it's gonna? What do you think it's gonna do box office?
75 million.
That's what's projected to do.
Opening weekend.
Yeah, and originally I said it was going to be easily 100 million, but now I think 75 million. I think it's going to end at 240 for box
What did we say the
office
budget was?
I
200,
think it was 220.
220. Yeah.
And you're speaking domestically.
you
I'm
also,
speaking
you also
domestically.
think Ezra Miller and his actions, people are gonna be like, I don't want to.
I think that's a big
I
part
think
of
it's
it.
going to hurt it.
Their
Absolutely.
face.
Oh yeah, which is why
like,
he's
their
not doing any
actions-
press.
Yeah,
They are not doing any. Dang it.
like I don't think they.
It's not that hard, Nick.
People are gonna like be turned off by it because of.
They're-
Well,
you,
shoot,
you,
on our-
you think so?
Shoot on our Instagram where I posted about
think
that we
so.
were there.
I mean,
And one
maybe
guy
not-
kept
maybe not
commenting,
a lot of
boycott
people,
WB until they
but
stop
some.
Wow.
enabling abusers.
Well, I think if it was that bad, they would DC and Warner they would have just moved on from the movie.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money on the movie.
They spent a lot of money on a lot of movies and canceled them all.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers has cut some stuff.
But like you said, this has been done for what? Like it's been. You said it was done. For
It's
4 years.
this movie has been talked about actually since the early 2000s. Really, I mean, but yeah, it's been in the can for like 3 years. So
What was your favorite part of the movie?
When it ended.
No.
babies.
My favorite part was probably that the final scenes with Zod, and they kept trying to go back. I liked that a lot.
I like that what it was trying to tell there.
Yeah, yeah. If I just do this action a little bit different, and they would do it different, and it would work. But then the next step, and then
I think that's
Batman
a very
kept,
interesting like
yeah, that you can't avoid fate.
Yeah.
I like that, which is what Terminator
and how like
used to do so well, and then ruined
how
it.
they just kept going and going and going, and then it showed up that he's actually the bad guy.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was I think that was very interesting.
When he
I
got
feel like
that
they could've done
thing
it a little bit
stuck in
better.
him, I kind of realized, oh, that's where they were going with
I feel like
that.
they could have done it a little bit better, but I feel like it was. I like that. My favorite scene was the babies.
The babies
That was
was,
hilarious.
yeah, that was a funny scene.
I thought the movie was very predictable. I forgot what I meant this, but I could definitely tell where it was going. Like, I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah,
it was.
It was not groundbreaking.
No, it was not.
it was not.
And you said
groundbreaking.
it was kind of Marvel-esque in that way, right? And that it's predictable.
and then it's.
It had Marvel tendencies.
Yeah, the
that it was
humor.
predictable, and at least as of again recent Marvel stuff, I'm a Marvel fan. I can't diss my own people, but as of like the recent stuff, it was predictable. It was felt just
We didn't ask Sydney for a
mass
nerd resume.
produced. Mass produced. It felt just
You wanted more of a craft.
yeah. Like I like it like
Sydney likes her craft beer.
Really? That sounds like a parenting thing.
Yeah, it's a parenting
like
issue.
there's a
Her parents
reason.
suck.
Like my
They do.
my favorite movie is The Avengers. I love that movie.
Oh, that's a bummer.
You're,
Compared to the other Avenger movies.
I disagree, man.
Compared to the other, okay. First of all,
Infinity
your
War
son,
and
First
Endgame are
Avengers.
better.
your
Pretty
son
good.
Yeah, it was.
thinks that Age of Ultron is like the best
I
Marvel
know,
movie.
he's-
So
Yeah,
I
but-
don't trust your opinion because that came from you.
I dropped him on his head
You
How many
yeah,
times? Yeah.
obviously.
last week.
What are you, the LAPD?
Oh,
Too soon?
oh too soon,
Jeez, that was
my
that
man.
40 years ago?
Yeah.
But like that was back when they weren't mass
But there is,
producing
like,
these
30
things
something
like
years
for a
ago.
year. They need to take more time with these. They need to like take more time with them. Like I think
Well, I mean, when you're releasing like a half a dozen comic book movies a year or more,
Yeah. You don't have a choice.
they are mass produced.
that's why I'm
They're-
saying they need to take more time and stop releasing them.
Because generally they're not well-told films. They're money makers. They're
Exactly.
They're profit margins.
Exactly. And they know people are going to see them, so they
Right.
don't.
But if you put yourself in the shoes of an executive,
You want the moneymaker.
you want to make money because you've just lost your ass for a couple of years over COVID.
Yeah.
So you're trying to recoup as much money as you possibly can.
But I think they should go back to, at least in Marvel's aspect, should go back to like 1, maybe 2 a year at least.
Slow it down so you can try to be
So you can
more
have
creative.
quality over quantity.
Yeah. I agree.
I think that's where DC's going.
I hope so.
Yeah.
With the rollout of James Gunn.
James Gunn really said he wants to put the heart back into things. He wants to, and I appreciate that because I think that's one thing that if you look at what Flash was trying to do, or Flash season 1, when it's about something,
About that.
it's about that. So
Okay.
all right. So
So go see Flash, everybody.
yeah, and tell us what you thought.
I did think it was worth seeing.
Yes,
in the theater.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
At least once.
Seeing Michael Keaton on the screen again as Batman was incredible.
For the
Did they even
experience of going
start
to
the
a theater.
Batmobile? Did we get flames
No.
out of the
No.
back?
No.
There was at least one cameo, if you know what's referencing, is totally
Was
worth
it-
it.
What's his face?
We'll tell you I'll tell you after the post show.
Long-haired guy?
Yeah.
Eh.
If you know the story behind that, though,
I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah.
I
It's
just laughed at it
gold.
because he looks funny.
I'm gonna play the story for you.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a pretty funny story. It's a good story.
I just thought the joke
Okay.
was funny.
So we're going to review a couple episodes of Lower Decks here today.
Lower Decks.
Get to talk about Lower Decks now.
Upper Deck. We got Star Trek Lower Decks.
Hated it.
Hated it.
Yeah, and you hate everything that's good.
So
I
we
don't
just
care if
decided
you're-
today
I hate everything that's bad too.
because we were bringing in a special guest, we're just going to review a couple of these episodes. We're not going to consistently
No,
review
you didn't
Lower
do it-
Decks.
You didn't do it because I was here. You did it because I made you, and then I agreed to.
That's true.
Don't
but,
out us.
but we're not going to
We're doing
review.
it
I
because
do what I want.
We're not
We're
going to
doing it because
review
you're-
every single episode. We're just going to review these first couple. And maybe we'll go back here and there. But overall, this is kind of like a,
A one-off.
we'll give it a shot. So we watched the first 2 episodes, which was Second Contact and Envoys. I don't really feel like there's a need to go through
No.
what the stories
No.
are here. I think that's not the point of it with this show.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not really in there
from-
for.
We're not
From
looking
what-
for the bigger question.
Yeah, I
But-
mean,
But from what you've told us, there is story coming, right?
Yeah.
Where it does sort of get you involved in the
It
story.
does, yeah. I'm gonna the season 1 finale. They call back to a lot of Next Generation things.
oh, No Small Parts. That was one of my favorite
those small
episodes.
parts. That was
I did too, right?
I love that episode.
Wasn't that one so
Because
good?
they-
What are you talking about?
I didn't watch
the one
it.
where they brought back the Packlets
Oh yeah, the Packlets. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Riker.
Oh, that's right.
So
Spoiler.
they did. I know. I don't care. He's
We
not.
just
They're
butchered
not
the-
gonna watch it.
It's been out for a couple
They're
years.
not gonna
You're
watch
good.
it.
Yeah.
The statute of spoilers is way past.
it's-
Well,
on.
how do we?
1 week.
We don't know if they're not going to watch it because they haven't said that yet.
Yeah.
It's Nick. I had to
I'll watch it. I'll
bug him
watch
for
it.
months to
I'm
watch
2
it.
episodes in.
But
I started on the
there is a
3rd.
lot of callbacks. Whereas now I'm going back and watching through this show as a person who has now watched Next Generation. I'm getting more and more of the references, and I'm like, like as I'm going through and watching it, because like this is the first Star Trek show I've watched, and this is the show that got me into Star Trek.
Was this the one that got you
Yes.
into?
Yes,
Okay.
it's
So
Gateway drug.
this came out in 2020, and Dad was like begging me to watch it with him. He was
Dad
like,
is
"Come on,
Rob,
it's-
just for the second.
yes,
I call him
yes, it is.
Daddy, but it's Dad.
I want you to leave.
That's his daughter.
Get out of my house.
But he does. He really does.
Get out of my house.
Nick, when's your sister coming on the podcast?
Daddy, tell him to stop making fun of me, Daddy.
Get out of my house. Don't ever come back.
So more about your sister, Nick.
Anyways,
Anyways, he was basically begging me to watch this with him. He was like, please, they're just like 20-minute episodes. There's like
That's what he said to me. I'm like, when do you find time? He's like, they're 20 minutes long. Like, oh.
yeah,
When do I find time? I can barely.
they're not hour-long
I don't have any
episodes.
time.
They're-
oh,
and so
boo-hoo.
we watched it in the first season. I was like, that's all right. We were watching Animaniacs at the same time, I believe. And it was just fun watching a TV show. I like toilet humor, so
You were in.
I was in,
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, season 2 came out. We watched that together. Season 3 is where I really got into it.
Yeah.
And then by the time season 3 was done, I was like, yeah, that was awesome. And then my dad was like, well, let's watch the episode 1 of Strange New Worlds. And I was like, all right. So we watched it, and then he went to bed, and I went downstairs and stayed up the entire rest of the night watching every other episode.
Was it Pike's hair that did it for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that would probably be like a cool thing for the creators of Lower Decks to know that like Lower Decks was made
Joe,
for the fans.
get on it.
It was made
To-
for the fans.
but to
I'm in
know
there.
like you
Because-
weren't a fan and it made you a
Yeah.
fan is pretty cool.
And then I watched Next Generation, and I watched the movies.
Are you
So-
starting DS9 then?
No, so Dad told me that if I watch Voyager before I watch Deep Space Nine, he was gonna disown me. So I'm watching Voyager.
Kick you out is what I said.
I like Voyager. I don't think it's bad. It's the same.
Oh,
kind
I'm
of-
not saying it's bad. I'm saying you got to watch the crap in order.
Yeah,
Well, I
All
didn't.
they
I
take
started
place
with
at the same
DS9.
time.
We just but
yeah, they take
but-
place at the same time. She's got a good point.
They do. They take place in.
I mean, the only reason they introduced the Maquis was so they could have a bad guy for Voyager. Like that was just written in Deep Space Nine. So, what do you? Oh, don't roll your eyes at me, Daddy. Gosh.
I'm going to kill you one day.
So to your point of it getting you into Star Trek, you have to save that for next week.
I want.
You have to save that for next week.
yeah, because they mentioned Billy.
That's right.
Lower Decks, go
That's
for-
coming back next week, baby. All right.
So that's one of the critiques I have of it is I felt like I didn't know enough about Star Trek to get. I felt like they were referencing a lot,
They were.
and I didn't get it. But
I hadn't watched any Star Trek.
I know.
Before watching this, the only Star Trek I had watched was Take
Yes.
Me Out to the Holodeck and
Those
The
are
Wrath
good
of Khan. Those were the only two things I had watched.
God!
Because I was in a Star
Nailed
Trek
it.
club in middle school. Even though I wasn't a fan of Star Trek, I digress. And it's what got me into it. So two different sides of a spectrum here.
Yeah.
yeah,
But this first
And did
episodes
you
are-
like Take Me Out to the Hollow Suite?
Pretty sure I did.
Yeah, you
I
loved
did,
it.
I did,
You
yeah,
loved
'cause
it.
I love baseball.
Yeah.
Do you? Because I didn't see you at the baseball game today.
I said I did like baseball.
She was a
Essence.
Verlander.
I know,
person.
but where were you today?
At a grad party.
You weren't. But where were you not?
At a baseball game.
at several baseball
Which
games. You know how
who
many
invited you to?
Dad.
But who invited Daddy? We'll get there. We'll get there together. We'll get there together.
No.
So
Your church.
back there you go. There.
And you
Not
This
said
you.
man's a pastor.
and you
Your
said no.
church.
You said no to the Lord.
You said no.
I
to,
said no to the Lord.
You said no to Jesus.
She is my daughter.
That's true. All right. So the first episode, though, there were some things that I absolutely really loved. I loved the fact that things are falling apart in the ship and people are slime and running around. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's like this all the time. Because literally every episode of
is.
Star Trek, like
Yes.
things go to garbage like right away. So I dug the little line about that. Like, yeah, you'll get used to it. This happens all the time.
And you notice this a lot in later episodes, but they do focus on what would normally be the B plot.
Yeah.
Where, like for do you remember the season
Oh,
2?
great. More
first episode?
O'Brien episodes. Keiko.
Most influential man in Starfleet.
I know he is.
Thanks, Lower Decks.
Yeah, I did. They do.
Didn't you watch the one with Kira?
Yeah,
The DS9 one.
O'Brien's a bum and he's a racist.
He is a racist.
Oh my god, I can't remember the name.
You having a
of the
stroke over
episode.
there?
I can't remember the name of the episode, and oh my god, whatever.
Are you nicking out?
No.
Sorry.
I lost
This
my
makes for
you made me
great
lose my train of
airtime,
thought.
just for the record.
You made
Great,
me lose my train of thought.
great airtime.
You made
There we go. Blaming others.
Punching our pee-pee.
Blaming others.
I really enjoyed Odo in this episode. I like how he used his tricks to kind of get in.
It really is just like a wheel of fortune over
I
there.
know.
You just spin
Seriously, Joe, can you really take over the board?
check on our new twat.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm really bad at summing up episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
Can
All
we?
right, I'm done.
Can we
done.
talk?
I'm done. I'm done. I'm
We're on
done.
a podcast.
Hey, there's
here,
a
guys.
red record button. Why don't you just hit that one and end this?
Okay. We're done.
Okay.
That was Dave Matthews, folks. Dave Matthews. Live here in Studio 66.
So you were talking about Lower Decks, Nick. Continue.
Please.
Okay, so I dug that. I dig this idea that the lower decks officers are doing all the work, and who gets the credit for it? The bridge crew,
Yeah.
the senior staff, right? Like he's the one who got suckled on by this alien, which is a pretty funny scene.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's an herbivore. It's just sucking the juice out of him. That was pretty good. But this idea that they're just treated like garbage, I love that. Next Generation did that a little bit
Did you
with
see what
Barkley.
happens
Well, they
to
also
the
did
And
one
they did a
episode.
lower deck episode too.
What happens to the ensigns on the Enterprise D? They all die.
They all die.
They all die. Do you remember the one
Yeah.
episode where the girl clipped through the floor?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a way to go.
I know.
Joe, do you remember that episode?
How would I forget?
I know. I can't wait till we're there and this other show's done.
Yeah. But I do like Boimler as a character because
Boimler.
he reminds me of like what those. I mean, like they're doing this not for pay, not for
They don't
anything
get
because there's
paid.
no money. They're just doing this because like
Space.
yay, and it's like, but it's work. Why do you want to do work if you don't?
Because
have
we've
to?
evolved
They also
past the
get
need for money and
Free
we
healthcare
wanna,
and
Oh, hush.
free room and board and.
But you
free
work
food.
for fun. No one works for fun. You
And-
follow your passion. Is your passion really working in the lower decks? Boimler it
Rutherford's
is. Yeah.
Boimler and Rutherford intended.
and Rutherford,
Rutherford, yeah.
he just wants to
Tandy.
clean the
He just wants to clean those
He
Jeffrey
just
tubes.
wants to hang
Yep.
out in the Jeffrey
Daddy, will you
tubes.
clean my?
I swear to God, this is why I never talk to you.
I didn't even
It's like
say
this
it.
every time.
I didn't say
Every
it.
time
I didn't
you are in the
say-
vicinity.
I know.
This
I'm
is
sorry.
inappropriate, and I do not
I'm
not sign
so
off on any of
sorry.
this.
we just got caught holding hands at Comic-Con.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
too.
but we didn't try to hide it.
I
Yeah,
was
true.
not holding hands with your father.
Because you said no.
That's true. I did say no.
And in Sydney's defense, she wouldn't have batted an eyelash at that.
No, because it's just so normal.
See, we're normalizing it.
And we're normal. Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yes. Look, we're
I like
here.
that. I like that it's so normal that
Look, Sydney, we're here. We're
Flinch.
queer, and there's nothing you can do about it.
no, I'm just here.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to kill you one day. Anyways.
We are weird people, though.
Anyways, you are extremely weird.
Yeah.
People. Anyways. I love lower decks.
I think my biggest problem with
That's
these
a
first
hot
couple,
take.
my problem with these first two episodes is it's not enough for me to decide if I like it or not because
I
it's
agree
a
with
little
that.
too
But have you seen like the first two seasons of every other Star Trek show? They're
Right.
There is validity
right.
to that.
Yeah, it takes
And it
it's-
takes time to get to them.
and they're only 10 episodes.
There's only 10 episodes, and they're only 20-minute episodes. And it does find its pace. I will agree. At first, it is very, 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 very fast.
Especially Tawny Newsom. She,
Yes.
I
she,
love her.
but
She's
she,
amazing.
as the character, she just speaks so quickly.
Which is very
Yeah.
impressive. If
It's
you think about
relentless.
it, it's impressive.
But it's
Yeah.
relentless.
It
That's
is.
a problem.
But it does, like, I don't want to say cools down, but it, like, finds its own pace.
yeah.
It goes into its own groove of things, and it gets...
It's almost like a ratchet economy.
She didn't really do too much before.
Not at all.
I mean, she's in Space Force on Netflix, but for the most part, she's just a one-off character and just small roles. But she's a comedic actor, which I appreciate because she nails the role.
Visually, I like the show.
Yes.
I really like the show
I like
visually.
how, because it's animated, they can do a lot of things that live-action shows can't.
Yes.
I think that's really cool.
They can take liberties that the main shows can't, which is
Yeah.
nice.
I like that it's an animated show, but it didn't feel like a kid's show. But it also wasn't.
I
It
believe
wasn't
was-
strictly adult. It wasn't like an Adult Swim take
Yeah.
on Star
there's,
Trek.
There's an episode. I don't know when it is, but good lord.
Well, I'm aware of this episode.
It's the second season.
is it the second season,
I
Sid?
believe it's episode 2. I might be wrong.
Of the
on
second
that.
season?
Keishan, his eyes open.
Not that one.
Probably has boner in the title. Look
We'll
for that
always
one.
have Tom
Yes,
Paris.
Naked Time. Naked Down, Naked Then. It's one of those three.
Oh, it's called Naked something.
We were watching. So we were watching
It's
it.
probably in
and
the third
I
season.
It's I Excretus. It's season 2, episode like 7 or 8. And they're doing holodeck drills of
Oh boy.
past, like, I don't want to say episodes or scenarios of Star Trek. And there's one, like, there's a Borg one, there's a Wild West one, and there's a Naked Time one.
I'm watching
I
this
will
with my
say-
kid, who's young at the time, and I was just
I
like,
wasn't young. I was like 15.
Rest my
okay.
case, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, I mean, I don't want to say you're like you don't like those things around. We were watching Scrubs together, and he was having an aneurysm anytime they looked at each other wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's a one shot in that episode.
Child abuse.
There is one shot in that episode.
Oh, I know which one you're
It's
talking
so-
about. The spread eagle shot.
Yeah.
Or
The
whatever.
money
Yeah.
shot. It's so funny, and
That's your
I
daughter.
saw like
It's your
the
daughter.
look on your face was priceless, and I wish I had taken a picture because it was hilarious.
I just wouldn't. I can't believe we're watching this right now. Crap.
So
Crap.
I mean, we knew you were a bad dad.
Terrible.
oh, so funny. But
You
yeah,
keep it up. I won't call you
back to
daddy
your-
anymore.
Stop.
Zaddy.
Zaddy.
Yes. I prefer Zaddy.
Oh my.
Oh,
You see what I have to deal with?
can I call you Mzadi?
You can call me Zaddy.
Mzadi.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Up in here.
I don't know how you do this week after week.
See? Commiserating. See, we're on the.
Feel
Joe,
really
you were fighting with him earlier, you know.
bad for you. Yeah,
now
then
she's
now
sympathetic.
I have to go through this.
To be fair, there's been many episodes where you two are holding hands underneath the table, and I don't realize it till halfway through the
Okay, yeah,
episode.
we went to Cedar Point. My family and your family.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yes.
And you two were getting all handsy in front of me and one of my best friends.
Yeah?
And
Yeah, go on.
horrible. It was terrible.
Oh, that sounded like a good story.
No, it wasn't. It was horrible. Anyways, you saying that that it looks not, I don't know, cartoony.
Well, no, I
basically.
would say
Like,
it just
childish.
for an animated show, it isn't childish, but it also isn't Adult Swim where it's just over the top
Yeah.
adult stuff. It
Like Rick and Morty.
I think it's
Yeah.
very impressive that they had it made that feel because I think that's, at least I assume that's difficult to do.
It
Yeah.
does feel
It's
like Star
a
Trek.
thin line to
And
walk.
actually, I was watching an interview about this. They wanted the like when they did exterior shots of the ship to not look live action, but not look animated.
Mhm.
So that's why it looks
Yeah.
the way it does. It looks
Yeah, I could see that.
A
in
blend.
the middle, and I think it looks neat.
Yeah.
It's funny now that you mention that, I can kind of see what you're talking about. I never thought about it before.
Good job. Rob thought.
It doesn't look like wood though.
So if
So-
you
Nice to meet us.
Here, and to Joe's point earlier, I think you appreciate this show if you know more Star Trek.
Definitely.
Yeah,
If you have a little background,
I was able to follow what was happening, but that's kind of what I was saying was I know that there's more that I'm missing,
yeah.
and once I fill in those gaps, I'm gonna get more out of the show.
Yeah,
I know
you'll
I'm gonna get
appreciate
more
the
out of
show a little
And
more.
when you guys start watching Next Generation, you'll get a lot of the jokes.
That's not
I
even a
watched the
couple.
I've watched the first episode of Next Generation.
That's three
Okay,
months
and
from now. We're
that's-
watching Next
But it's not
Generation.
very good.
not very good.
No.
No.
I don't know
Encounter
how-
Wait-
I don't
wait
know
to
how
get the
people
code
get
honor.
through that.
Encounter at Farpoint. Ooh.
I don't know how people get through that.
Frakes didn't have a
Look at
beard, and I
that.
turned it off immediately.
Yeah, I was I was upset.
friend of the show, Freaks.
Friend of the show, Johnny
Close
Frakes.
personal friend, Jonathan Frakes.
Yes.
Close personal friend who we took out to pizza after Comic Con.
Was that for
You
a
know,
panel?
personally, I am close personal friends with Brent Spiner. So
Nice. Good job.
Thank you.
Proud
Yes,
of you.
So.
Proud of you.
Actually,
So, if
We're
you,
all solid delusional.
if you were to rate, okay, look, can you remember the first two episodes really well?
I watched them last weekend. Yes.
Okay, so if you had to rate
with
them
that.
on a scale of 1 to 10, just the first two episodes, what would you give episodes 1 and 2?
Well, I'm biased because I love the show.
Yeah, but you've also seen all of it, and you've said firsthand that it gets better.
Yes, I'm also
So-
extremely insane for the entire show. So
you just left it insane.
You could have just like
okay, and you are too. Let's
Ooh, good comeback.
Oh,
Ooh, good comeback.
snap.
okay.
I know you are, but what am
I
I?
taught you better
Head
than that.
injuries. Head injuries. Head injuries.
Oh, that's a good one. That's classic.
That is a good one.
Mad cow.
And you can say it over and over because he won't remember.
Hey, Sydney. Hey, Sydney. Super blood.
Because he's dead. Well, he's dumb.
Brain dead.
Brain dead. You don't have
Super
super blood.
Jinx.
Wow.
You've gotten it multiple times, my friend.
Hate to
You
break
have
it to
the
buddy.
least super blood of all of us.
That's a radio-friendly
Don't worry,
way
it's
of
just
saying you
his
have
head
AIDS.
Yeah. AIDS.
Head injuries.
AIDS.
anyways.
Everybody has AIDS.
He has an STI
Nope. Nobody.
because it's different than an STD.
Inferior. That's the I is for inferior.
All
The I
right.
is for inferior.
Sorry, you have to get used to this. This is what happens. It goes off the rails.
But what we're doing is we're
You
stalling.
seem so
I've been in your
annoyed.
vicinity before.
I know.
You have to learn that what we're doing is stalling for you to think of your.
Yeah, because you're
Rating.
not coming up with a rating,
no,
so
you guys are just talking. I know what I want to say.
we can't have
This
dead
is
air.
like every episode for us. You guys are just talking.
I know what I
All
want
right,
to say.
all right, all right.
In the context of like,
All right, shh. Let's listen to her.
okay, stop.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. Are you listening?
Okay.
Okay, give us a
In
rating.
comparison to the rest of the
What would you
episodes,
give the
I
rating? Would you give it
them-
a
I'm just gonna
what,
talk, and
what
he's
rating
just gonna
would
talk
you?
too, and
Throw
this is
punch
gonna,
over it.
your
if
friends,
you
your
were to-
fans are gonna hate this.
Okay.
So
If you were
Fans.
to give it,
your fans singular, mom.
if you
gonna hate this.
She hates the show.
So
okay.
Can we mute his mic?
you know,
I muted my own mic.
so okay.
There we go.
In comparison to the rest of the episodes, because if we're just doing like, out of all episodes ever, I'd give them a 10 out of 10 because I love the show. In comparison to the rest of the episodes, I would give it more of like a 7. Because
Okay.
they are, like, it does start out very strong. You got to really get used to that. It's a very
Okay.
like slap in the face, you know. So in context, I'd give them like a 6 to 7. I believe I'd give episode 1. I'd definitely give higher. I really enjoyed the episode. I'd give
It's
that
not a
one
bad
like a 7.5.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Because I do really enjoy that episode. Episode 2, I'd give like a 6.
That's fair.
All right. So I think I would give the first episode probably a 7. It was pretty good. But you're right. Second episode, I was like a
there's more.
5.5 with that episode. I don't have it up right now. That was
on,
the one
dude.
with the Klingon. The
The
Klingon.
third episode. I'm talking about.
I think I would go 6.5 for episode 1.
Okay.
And 6 for episode 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, not bad. I'll feel it out. I'll continue
I feel
watching.
like episode 2 is one of the weaker ones of at least.
Yeah,
at least
it
the
felt
season and definitely
felt
the show.
pretty weak. Like there was not. I didn't really laugh at that one at all. I mean,
Either did I.
I did. I liked it. This is just a me thing. I like how they like kind of showcased the beginning of Mariner and Boimler's friendship because that definitely goes on a lot.
oh yeah.
Seasons.
But like the Ferengi thing was like, you know, human.
Jinx, you owe me another soda. That's 2.
But I do like anything that has
Jinx, you owe
Ferengis
me
in
a
it.
Coke. Get it right.
No, it's a soda.
And was that a Martok reference in the very first
Yes,
episode?
it was
Yeah.
a Marta.
That he got it from an old Kling. She got it from an old Klingon with an eye patch.
J.G. Hertzer makes an appearance in the show.
Martok self.
There's one dude. He plays a bunch of characters in Deep Space Nine.
Jeffrey
Combs.
Coombs.
Him. He voices a character in one of the later episodes.
Nice.
Do you want to contribute to the get Jeffrey Combs on this podcast fund?
Because we have to pay him
That's a
to
you
get him
thing.
to come on the podcast,
That's a you thing.
and we don't have
Get
that
the
kind
lower
of
decks
money.
people on the podcast.
Oh, wait, I will.
I'll be in here all the time.
If you're invited back.
I will be.
You will be invited back. This was a blast.
Listen. We got like 7 weeks until the crossover comes out, and when the crossover comes out, you will not hear me shut up.
We will talk about the crossover. Gosh.
You will
That's
not
why
hear
we're
me
doing lower decks
shut
today.
That's why we're doing it, so we can be prepared for the crossover. We're doing this for you. All for you. In great.
All right.
My dad
Anyways,
used to call me that a
anyways.
lot.
Nick's great. He's great for guests.
Dad, you haven't spoken much on the episodes.
You guys have it. I didn't really. I think I'm more so 6 on 6 and 6 on one and 5.5 on the other.
Yeah.
It's just.
All right.
Yeah.
We having a conversation after
Oh, you're gonna have a talking to me with?
Yeah.
She's gonna disown you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, while they're fighting, follow us on Cardassians Pod on Twitter. We'd love to have you there. You can also follow us on the Facebook. On the YouTube, we'll have video. You can also go on Instagram, keeping_up_Cardassians.
What about that Patreon dough?
You can go Patreon. $2, $5, $10 tier. We're working on changing some of those tiers, though, so keep an eye out for that. And also, we're on the TikTok. Come to the TikTok.
That's new.
I have some good TikToks up there. Love to have you.
Do you ever check our TikTok?
No.
He could be doing crazy shit on
Yeah.
TikTok.
I'm
Okay.
doing very basic stuff. So anyways, folks, it's been great keeping up with you.
Just
Thanks, Sydney, for guest hosting. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Sid.
Yeah, whatever.
Sid Vicious.
You're gonna come
Thank
back?
you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Bye.